Hey guys, happy June. We are just closing in on summer and the weather's just finally starting to feel a little bit summery. It's been unseasonably cold, as they like to say on the weather for the last weekend, but we're enjoying the sun today for sure. Me and Winnie definitely. Oh, Winnie, that's not appropriate for this. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wait to do your grooming later, okay? That's not appropriate for this audience. She's like, what do you mean? Anyway, as usual, when we embark on a new month, I like to reflect on the past month and share some of my favorite things with you. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Starting out with clothes and accessories. I did a big spring haul. I think it was earlier this spring, and there's just been I loved everything I bought, but there's been a couple of pieces in particular that I wore the heck out of this May. And one of them is actually this shirt here. It's by Halogen. It's the long sleeve chambray shirt. I love this. First of all, it's a really nice kind of mid-weight shirt. It's got a really nice silky feeling to it. It just feels so comfortable on. It hangs really nice. And I love the little square details. From far away, they kind of just look like faint polka dots, which I really like. And it's just been a really easy to wear kind of all-around shirt. As well as the one that I'm wearing today. I have worn this a heck the past month too. A heck? I don't know if that's a real thing. This is by Cloth & Stone. It's a sand-washed, sleeveless button-down. I think that's what it's called. It's from Anthropologie. I got the Halogen shirt at Nordstrom. But I'll have all those links below for you guys if you want to check them out for yourself. I've always wanted kind of like a khaki-style shirt, but I've never found one that I really thought was the right fit. This is the perfect length. It's the perfect kind of blousiness. And it's, again, that kind of mid-weight material. It's almost a little bit linen-y without having that wrinkly problem. And I just really love it. Also, these sneakers. These are actually by a company called Simple. These are Eco Sneaks. I don't know if you're gonna, the camera's picking them up. They're actually really deep, actually that might be black. It's either black or really deep navy with dark green polka dots, but the polka dots are so dark, it just kind of blends in to be a really cute sneaker. I've been wearing these a ton. I've had these for many years. And in fact, I believe in 2011, this brand went out of production, but I just found out they're coming back with a fall line. It's an eco-friendly shoe company. I believe it's based out of Santa Barbara, and I will link their teaser website below. You can sign up if you want an announcement when their full site launches. But like I said, I've had these forever. I cannot wait for the brand to come back because I love these sneakers. They're just great little, everyday sneakers, super cute and comfortable and casual and awesome. Lastly, I have one accessory to show you today, and it's actually something I talked about earlier in May, and it's the Midori Traveler's Notebook. This is mine in the passport size. I absolutely love this. I've been using this for the past few months as sort of my notebook / journal keeper all in one thing. I used to just have separate Moleskine notebooks for all of those things, and now I just have everything in one place. I have 3 notebooks in here. One with a graph paper that I use for notes, general notes, work notes, all that kind of stuff. A lined one that I use as my gratitude journal, and then a blank one that I use as my diary. And then I also have the plastic, actually I think this is more like a vinyl zip pocket insert that I put business cards and little stickers and washi and stuff in if I ever want to use that stuff. I'm not a big journal decorator, but sometimes you want those things. And then I got my little Tom Adler? No, I always get that wrong. It's not Tom. Jonathan Adler B pen in the side. I think this has been discontinued, but I think it was a gift, and I think it was from Barnes & Noble because I think I looked for it because somebody had asked at one point. But I love this thing. I also have a little custom charm that I got from Foxy Fix. Actually, now she's, Foxy Fix on Etsy. Love this too. It's stamped with my initials. I take this everywhere. It just kind of makes it easier to travel. We travel kind of frequently. Not a ton, but frequently, and it just makes it easy to have all my journals. It's lightweight, and my notebook at the ready. It easily fits in my handbags too if I ever am going somewhere where I know I'm going to be waiting and I might want to write something down. I take it to doctor's appointments. I take it to meetings. It's awesome. I love it. And I will link the post that I did on this in the coordinating video. I did a show and tell on the whole range. I will link that for you guys. Of course, I want to share beauty products. You guys know I love talking about beauty products. There's one eyeshadow palette that I seem to gravitate towards every spring, and it's the Bare Minerals Ready Eyeshadow 4.0 palette in The Truth. This to me is like the perfect taupe palette. It's just so beautiful. I've basically worn just this as my main eyeshadow for the past month, and I tend to do this every spring. This is my third spring, I believe, using it. And I know it's been in my favorites before, but it's just so versatile. It's got a nice amount of shimmer without being like glittery. And the taupe shades are just so spring to me. It really works, I think, with my complexion this time of year. And even more so, something that I'm not exactly sure I've talked about before, but it's definitely one of my all year round favorites. Something that I go to a lot is the Urban Decay Naked Basics palettes. I actually have both of them. This is like the one, and then there's the two. I use them both, but I think I use the original one more. I love this. Sometimes I have a palette that I'm using, like the Truth one from Bare Minerals, that doesn't have quite all of the shades that I want. Maybe it doesn't have a, a brow, what do we call that? Like a highlighter blender or a crease blend that I really like, or something I can use over eyeliner to kind of fill out the line. That's when I turn to this. I love this for that. To me, it's like a great palette extender, and just comes in so handy. They're great neutrals, easy to work with. I don't normally wear this on its own. I know lots of people do and like it, but to me, it's an awesome supplement. One new product I've been trying out that I really love is the Iconic Brow Setting Gel from Julep. I believe this came in one of my last Julep Maven boxes. I was a Maven subscriber for a long time. I really love the service. It's a nail polish, mainly a nail polish subscription. They do beauty stuff too, like, makeup and things. But I just wanted to take a break from some of my subscriptions because it was getting kind of overwhelming, and I have a lot of polish already. But I'm glad I still was getting the box when this came, because I don't know if you guys have been, if you've been watching me for a while, I have a thing with brow gel where I'm always on the hunt for the next best brow gel. This is it. It's got this teensy tiny spoolie that is absolutely perfectly sized, at least for my brows. And I really like the gel consistency. It actually holds, but it's flexible. And it's really the spoolie, like the brush on the wand, that sells it for me. This is my absolute favorite brow gel now I've ever used. And I love it. So I had to talk about it this month. And of course, it wouldn't be a favorites video if I didn't talk about my current favorite lippies. And I actually have a trio that I've been turning to a lot this month. I've been into kind of a bolder, peachy neutral color. I'm actually wearing it today. So it's a trifecta here. It starts with the Sigma Indulgent Lip Base. I really like this. I've never been a big fan of, not even a fan, I've just never really used lip liners. This is kind of fatter, I think, than your average lip liner, but it's basically what it is. I use it all over. It is a lip base. I find it adds just a lot more staying power to my lip products. It just makes them stay on longer, last longer. And on top of that, I've been using the Bite Beauty Buttercream Lipstick in Heather. This I hauled, in my haul earlier in the spring, and it is so pigmented and creamy and delightful. It goes perfectly over that lip base, and really love it. And when those two products are on, they kind of have a matte-ish finish, because I usually block because they're pretty pigmented. So I like to top off with just a little gloss to give just a little bit more of a moist look back in. And the Naked Urban Decay lip gloss in Naked, that was redundant. It's actually the Naked is the line of the lip gloss, but the name of the shade is also Naked. Perfect color, perfect consistency, just an amazing trio, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So I don't normally talk about products I don't like in my favorites, because it's not my favorites. And that kind of goes against the title of the video. But to be honest, I don't often come across makeup products that I've purchased that I don't like, because I usually kind of do a lot of research about beauty products before I buy them, for the most part. Sometimes there's the occasional impulse purchase, okay, I mean, everybody does that. But most of the time I know I'm gonna like what I get, for the most part. Now, I actually was sent one of these products, and the other one I just heard so many good reviews about, and I just really wanted to try. So the first one is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. First of all, it is not waterproof or water resistant. So that was my biggest problem with it. I got raccoon eyes after maybe only about an hour of wear, so that kind of defeated the purpose of it for me. And also I just felt it was just really wet and clumpy, and I just really didn't care for it. And it's interesting because so many people love it, but a lot of people like more wet formulas. I tend to prefer a really dry mascara formula. And the other mascara is the Tarte Lights Camera Slashes. This is waterproof and it definitely stays, but it is so wet and clumpy on my lashes. I have very fine lashes, and it really shows product. They really show product, especially when it's a wet product. And it just did not work for me, and it's a big fat bummer because I was really excited to try that. But I thought I'd bring those up, and maybe I will when there's products that I'm not like too fond of, just here and there. Like I said, I don't actually run into that a lot in my experience, but just thought I'd pop it in there for fun. So on to home goods. I wanted to talk this month about dishwashing and my favorite dishwashing tools. So first of all, I've been a huge fan of the Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day dish soap for years. It has been my absolute favorite, the only dish soap I buy. I even buy it when we're out at the family home in Utah. It's just my favorite. The lemon verbena scent is really, I like the honeysuckle scent too, but this is my favorite. And I just think it's a great kind of eco-friendly, it's biodegradable soap. Well, this month I tried something new. The Honest Company has a dish soap. I don't know if this is a new product. I only just noticed it in my Target about a month ago. I've actually just about finished a bottle. I have a little bit more, but this is a new one that I bought. I like this even better. First of all, I feel like you get more bang for your buck with this bottle. I really like this is also lemon verbena, but it's even like a fresher, lighter scent. I feel like the Sud lasts longer. And it's also biodegradable, non-toxic, pH balanced, all that jazz. So I'm kind of becoming a convert. That's not to say that I don't like this soap anymore. I really do, and I stand by it. But there's a new dish soap in town, and it's by Honest Company. That's so cheesy. You guys feel me though. Now, I couldn't talk about dish soap and not talk about my favorite sponges. These are sponges from Ocello. And I actually went to the website to figure out the correct pronunciation for the product because I tend to butcher things, and I actually did it ahead of time this time. Like, whoa, mind's blown. I looked it up. It is pronounced Ocello, even though it's spelled like O-C-E-L-O. And they actually describe that the name originates from how they make their sponges. So they start with oxygen, they add cellulose, and they end with oxygen. So that's where Ocello comes. Oxygen, cellulose, oxygen. Anyway, these are my two favorite varieties, and they have different purposes in my kitchen. So this is the No Scratch Scrub Sponge, which has, just the regular sponge side and then the scrubby side. This I use primarily for washing dishes, actually exclusively for washing dishes. It's my favorite. I find I don't use a scrubber kind of sponge that much. We do have Dobie sponges. I think that's what they're called, the brand at least. I only dig that out when I have something really stubborn to clean. For the most part, I find little elbow grease goes a long way, and these are great. I've been buying them for over a decade. I love them. The other sponge that I have in my kitchen is the Handy sponge. It's just a regular sponge, just sponge all around. And this I use exclusively to wipe down my counters and to clean up any messes. I don't use it for dishes. And I have both sponges in like a little thing on my sink, and that's just how I am I'm very kind of particular about which sponge I use for which thing. But I thought I'd share that since I was sharing the dish soap this month. So for multimedia this month, I finished the Bedwetter by Sarah Silverman book. That's her autobiography. And it was a book I was listening to on Audible, which I love. It's just so convenient. And I really liked that book. I wasn't sure when I first started it if I liked it as much as the previous female comedian writer books that I'd listened to, because that seems to be my thing with Audible. But actually, when all was said and done, I think it's actually one of my favorites. It's a little bit older than the other ones, but what I found that I really liked about it was just how personable Sarah Silverman is in this book. And she reads it with a lot of character in her voice, so it's really dynamic and interesting to listen to, and her stories are really funny, a little bit offensive, but like on purpose. It's just her style of writing and of, you know, a style of humor, her sense of humor, I should say. But it's kind of hard to like pinpoint exactly what I liked about it. I just felt like she was talking to me, like as I was listening to the book, as if I were a friend, and she was, you know, reminiscing about her life. And that, I really just enjoyed that. I felt, you know, connected to the story. So that was awesome. In terms of music, I have been listening to Kelly Clarkson's Piece by Piece album on repeat in my car. That's basically where I listen to music most of the time. I really like Kelly Clarkson. I've been a big fan since her first album came out. I actually didn't watch her in American Idol. She was the first American Idol winner. That was a long time ago now. But I've just been a fan of her music. I find her music, and not only does she have an incredible voice, I just find her lyrics and general musical vibe to be very like powerful, kind of spirited and encouraging, and kind of like, yay, girl power. I mean, not like really, really feminist kind of music, you know, but it just feels very encouraging, specifically with women in mind. And I mean, that's pretty much stayed consistent in my experience across all of her albums, and this latest one is no exception. I really love all of the songs. A couple of my favorites, I don't have my phone right here, so I don't know if I'm gonna say the names correctly. I will write them in if they're wrong. But the second song on the album, which is Invincible, awesome, like total power ballad. And then the last one, which is, I believe, Second Wind, those are probably my two favorite songs because they're just so, you know, like, you can do it, you are awesome. Like, even if stuff goes really wrong and life gets crappy, you know, pick yourself back up and forge on, and you can do it. And it's just, I mean, I love her, what can I say? And it's so much fun to sing along to that music. It's right in my range, so I tend to belt it out in the car. I'm sure, like, if anybody passes by me when I'm driving and they just see me, like, randomly singing in the car, I'm sure I look like a complete bozo, but I really don't care because I enjoy it so much. For shows, there's been a new show that Dawn and I have been absolutely loving, and it's a Netflix original series again, and it is called Grace and Frankie. And this actually was recommended to us by Dawn's parents. And we thought maybe it would be like a little bit out of our, I don't want to say like out of our age range, but a little bit like not in our interests, because it's about kind of like an older people. This sounds awful. You know, so it's about two couples who are, I believe, just in their early 70s or just turned 70, that sort of thing. And the two men in the relationship, you know, there's two couples, and the two men are actually business partners. They're lawyers together. And after they've all been, and the two women had never really gotten along, but they spent a lot of time together because their husbands love spending time together. So the four of them have spent a lot of time together. And I don't believe this is a spoiler, but just in case it is, I'm going to talk about the premise, which gives away like the first big thing, but it's kind of written in all of the show synopses, so I'm not sure it's a spoiler, but skip ahead like 20 seconds if you don't want to hear this. Basically, the two men figure out that they're madly in love with each other, and they're actually gay. And they figure this out 20 years before they tell their wives, because they finally decide they want to get married and spend the rest of their lives, you know, on this adventure together. And it kind of throws the two wives who never really clicked into this awkward situation where they're now both experiencing this like unusual circumstance, and how they relate to each other and how they kind of grow around each other, and their experience and their mutual experience. It's not only is it hilarious, but it's also very poignant. It's also very, like, there's a lot of deep emotional backstory there. So I think it's just an incredible show. It's Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda are absolutely incredible, hysterical, amazing women, and both Dawn and I have just been absolutely loving it. We haven't gotten through the whole season yet, but we've been kind of like taking it as a treat because it's just so fun. But I know that they've already been renewed for a second season, so that's exciting. Anyway, I really love that show. I highly recommend you check it out if it sounds something that you'd be interested in. For my online media favorites, I wanted to talk about Elle Fowler today. If you've been in the YouTube community for a while, you probably have heard of Elle Fowler. She's one of the original beauty gurus. She was the first person I really started watching that got me interested in YouTube and got me thinking about making my own videos. And actually, she basically, between her and Makeup by Tiffany D, they taught me how to apply makeup when I was in my late 20s, and I had never done it before. I've always really loved her personality. I feel like she's very authentic and the kind of person that I would love to be friends with. She's very genuine and quirky and funny and sweet and caring and thoughtful. She just seems like a really wonderful, wonderful woman. And she had an unfortunate accident last fall. I believe it was last fall. Yeah, because it was right around Halloween, where she broke her back in a pretty severe way, and she was pretty much out of commission for like 5 months or something. So she kind of had, she had to cut way back and basically cut out her YouTube and her blogging. And she's recently, in the last month, made a comeback. And it's just, to me, it's just so inspirational and awesome to see her back on after all this time away and what she's been through, and just to see her have that same personality, that same joy for life, despite what she's been through, which cannot have been easy. I mean, she is a fighter, obviously, but I've just been enjoying seeing her return, and I wish her all the best, and I just wanted to share the Elle Fowler love. And speaking of which, for blogs this month, I also want to talk about her blog, I Heart You Coffee. She started this blog, I think last year at some point. She also has a beauty one, which I believe is Dreaming in Blush. I don't look at that one quite as much because the I Heart You Coffee kind of is more in my wheelhouse of things I look at. It's more of a lifestyle blog. And she talks about things like planner stickers and stuff that I find really interesting. It's just, one of the things I'm into as well. She doesn't post on it extremely, like with extreme regularity, I would say. She kind of goes in and out of phases with it, as a lot of bloggers do, especially when they're primarily YouTubers. But I really do enjoy her blog. I think it's a wonderful way to see more of her personality, and a great way to kind of just learn more about her and what she's all about. So I will link both of those, her channel and her blog, below for you guys. And give her some love, show her some love. She's been through a lot, and I just think that, I just admire her, and I encourage her to, keep embracing positivity. Despite, life's hardships. I think she's doing amazing. Whew, this is a long one today. Okay, last but not least, tasty treats. You guys know I can't not talk about food. Can't not talk about, that was a double negative there. I'm pretty sure I talked about the same exact thing last spring, but it's been my absolute favorite food lately, so I had to share it. And it's low-fat cottage cheese with organic berries. The Horizon Organic Low-Fat Cottage Cheese is my absolute favorite. Not all cottage cheese is the same. In fact, I find they all have very distinct flavors. This is definitely my favorite. And then, of course, I just like combining it with some fresh berries, whatever's in season. I like to buy organic. I have this app on my phone called The Dirty Dozen, which lists in order of how toxic fruits or vegetables are for you, in terms of whether you should buy organic or if it doesn't matter. They also have the Clean 15 list on there, which tells you what the least toxic vegetables and fruits are, so you can save money and just buy conventional versions of that. It's an amazing app. I will link it below along with everything else, because it updates with how fruits and vegetables update with their toxic screenings and all that. Berries tend to list pretty high on that Dirty Dozen, so I always try to go organic. I don't go organic with all of our fruits and vegetables. Again, I pretty much follow the app's guidance because I trust it and it seems pretty accurate. In my experience, the more porous the skin is, the more likely it is to be more toxic due to pesticide use. Whereas with organic, they limit that. They use eco-friendly products, if anything at all, on their crops, and you just can feel like better about eating organic with fruit and vegetables that have, a more porous skin that are organic. So anyway, that is that. And that is everything. I'm like running out of saliva. too much talking. I do have a giveaway this month. I wanted to share the Urban Decay Naked Love because I know that they come in so handy for me, especially when I'm traveling. And I have actually 2 products. There'll just be 2 winners, but I'm giving away both products to the 2 winners. And it's the Naked Basics palette, like the one I showed in my favorites, and also the Naked Flushed palette, which has a bronzer, a highlighter, and a blush in it. These 2 things together are awesome travel cosmetic things, and they're also just great to have in your collection because they're both so versatile. So there'll be 2 winners. The giveaway will run for 1 week's time. You just have to have parental permission if you're under the age of 18. It's open internationally, and to enter you just head on over to my blog, which I will link for you guys, and it's very easy. You just enter through Rafflecopter. It's all described there, and there's even a blog link if you're confused by how Rafflecopter works. I always include that link, which shows you how it works if you're interested. Yeah. So that's the giveaway. I hope you guys had a wonderful month of May and are looking forward to a fun June. I hope you have interesting things in store. We have a lot of travel coming up later in the month and just fun family things in general. So I'm excited to share those with you. And I will see you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.